Right, so it's another week. We're down here. I've got my slow cooker on. Priorities first. We're going to be boarding the roof in here. I'm going to be helping Dave do this first. Loads of jobs on. Another montage of little clips of all the jobs that I'm going to be doing this week. And I'm a bit of an eagle-eyed viewer, so when I watched the last video, I realised that I'd left the hatch open on my caravan. So it's been raining whilst we've not been here, and that vent has been open like that. So when I got back, I just decided I'll check it out. Rocky's here with us, and yeah, it's rained in on my bed. It ain't too bad. Took my sheets off, so fresh bedding this week and all that good stuff. So it's going to be a really good week. Mentally prepared for it, and just get loads of things ticked off. So yeah, it should be a good one. I wanted to show you something that had me a little bit on edge, and it's actually the time spring is popular for Japanese knotweed, and I know this because we've had some growing through the fence at the bottom of at the garden at my house, and the contacted the train company, and they come out and spray it once a year. It does absolutely nothing, but when I seen that, it looked quite familiar, like the early stages of Japanese knotweed, and that it's similar, you know, when it first starts out, it's a similar purpley stem, and the leaves are very similar. And we had some over here, that's not one, some here. And I was like, oh god, what am I going to do? And there's a good app, right? So if you go onto your Google, and you will bring up pictures. So Google, and go onto the phone bit, and then your camera. So what you can do is you can scan the photo. See if it'll take a picture, and what it will bring up is the search for the plant. So I was doing this at the weekend in my garden because we had some soil that was imported, brought in. Basically it was loose topsoil, graded, but it had loads of weeds in it, and I planted loads of bulbs at the same time. So I'm working out what's a weed and what I can and can't pull out. So it's a really good app. So that's hedge blindweed. This stuff grows and it just attached to anything, but when I seen it near the footings of the building, I thought, hey up, because you always think the worst. Right, so we've got one hole here for the LED light strip, which will go underneath the chimney, and that will be the switch for it. So I'm up here with my next job, and it's a little bit later in the evening, so it's doing the quieter jobs. You can see the plasters starting to dry out. So regarding these wooden beams, I thought, what about paint them? And I thought, do I do it white? Do we do it black? Do we do it brown? My only thought with painting them white, well, painting them in general, is because there was a lot of stains, marks, that type of thing. And one of my good friends, Paul, he said, why don't you go for the wow factor, sand them back and stain them in like a bit of a clear varnish type of thing. So we got some sandpaper and we got a box of wire brushes, and I'm gonna make a start on tidying these up. So it's the end of day one, and it's about 9 o'clock, and I just want to show you how nice it's going to be in the summer. So time for tea and pick up tomorrow from where I left off. So here we have the complete upstairs. So we've used a wire brush and a lot of elbow grease, and I think they're pretty cool. And it takes Dave a lot to go, wow, yeah, that was really, really good. He thought I'd painted them. So yeah, what a feature. That looks absolutely really impressed. So we've done these two in the hall, up here as well. And then in the bedroom, purlins up there. Really, really impressed with that. Quite proud of myself. But it's the what a feature anyway. Rocky living his best life. Sunbathing. Get a face on that. Right, so one of my next jobs is this LED flashing down here is holding water, as you can see. So at any point, if we have a leak here, it's just going to rain in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up this felt. Sorry, not felt. I'm going to lift up this lead. We're going to put a piece of batten underneath, and it should create a bit of a lip where it will run out. The only other option we could do is lift it all up and place mortar underneath, sand and cement, but this is an easier option, and so long as it holds, which it is doing, that will never rot, but other things will fail before that fails. So yeah, from that end all the way through to the other end, that's what we're on with. Right, so next job is bolster and a hammer, and not the most favourite of jobs, but up top we've got where the chimney is, due to weathering, it's just blown off. Earlier on in the year we had some crazy winds, and it was actually all on the front of the road, that. So yeah, I got the 3-stage ladder out. I just had to take off the cat ladder section, and yeah, I'm gonna knock off the top of that. So I'm not really scared of heights, but it's not my favourite job to do. It's more safety rather than heights. But it's level anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna get to it. So one thing I really can't be arsed with at the minute is tying all this stuff down. It's a bit frustrating. Desperately need a van. So no builder's merchant trip is complete without a butty each. So I'll treat Dave, and I'm treating the neighbour. It was a birthday yesterday, so I think you'll like this card. It'll either go down one of two ways. Hopefully she'll like it. Find the funny side. So one of the tricks I like to do is, when I'm actually recording these videos of a job that I really can't be arsed doing, I start to record it because I know then I'll have to finish it. So an idea that came from, I can't remember its name. Is it Mr. Evil Wasp is the tag name on YouTube. He suggested an idea and I really like it. Carrying across this metal sheeting over to the gable end. Now I'm going to take off these side trims. We've got some 3x2 and some 3x3 wood that was left over from some fencing. So we're going to put pieces along the ends of the joists that you can't see yet, but because they're behind the sheeting here. So we're going to put some lengths across there, some lengths over here, and then we're going to noggin in between and extend our roof. Now before we put the sheeting on, I need to sort this gable end out. So if you can remember from yesterday, I was up on a precarious ladder taking off the old render that had come loose, and I tried to put some on, but it's too high to carry a bucket. It's not safe when you're up there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to sort this roof out, noggins, we're going to stage a platform, and then from there we're going to ladder across, and we can render that top chimney. It then needs to be painted because the roofing sheets after then, I can't stand on the roofing sheets because they'll scratch, and I don't want to put paint on them. So yeah, roof, well, noggins, staged, plastered, painted, and then sheeted up. So yeah, over the next 2 days that I've got while I'm here, I'm going to try and get that done. So today, so far, general morale on the site is pretty crap. Yeah, I'm just not feeling good. Dave's in a mood, so it's just a bit frustrating. One of my dilemmas at the minute is, if I don't document this and speak to someone, I literally will go insane. Just had to go and sit down in a dark room for 5 minutes, and some ladders got thrown. and it's difficult at the minute because every day has been a learning day for the last year and a half, from doing the bridging finance to learning the strategies to implementing to financing to tools on the job, individual tools like doing a bit of plastering, roofing, joinery today has just about tipped me over the edge. It doesn't help when you've got like a bit of a knock-on day, but it's just whatever. So I'll show you what I've been doing. So yeah, I'm not joiner. I'm not the best at angles, although I was alright at maths in school. So we're putting 2 pieces on at each edge and then one on this side. Tools and stuff are limited at the minute, so what I'm using is like concrete screws. One of my silly mistakes was I thought I could just screw through that wood and into the joists. Like, this is a bit short, but we're going to piece it, but in theory what I was doing is screwing through this and then into that joist, purling, whatever you call it. But by doing so, by trying to hold this with one hand, drilling the other, pushing and screwing on that off a ladder, and then not realising that I need to bore a hole first, I need to do a pilot hole, because obviously that's too fat for it just to screw through. The drill's locking up, and my blood vessels just went pop. So, progress. I'm gonna do it regardless. But in terms of, you know, I'm learning all the time and it's difficult, it's frustrating. So we're up here and we've got our 3x2 going on. One of the other trivial headaches was trying to put this on here, this 3x3, onto this wall using concrete screws. Depending on what length you've got, I'll just show you, I've got one in my pocket. So if you look at that, get the angle right. So if you look at that, what you've got to do is get your angles up here right, with the level going across, and screwing through this wood is okay because there's plenty to bite at. You know, you've got over half a screw there. So if you're screwing through 3x3, it means it comes out further and you've only got like about an inch to go into the wall. Now you've got a good inch of render, which is pretty tough, but then you've got to go through the block. You can see a few holes here, and I've not done the rest of this one yet, but there are a few over there where it's missed and it's not hit the stone. So there's that on top of what is already a difficult job. So for joiners that are watching, they'll easily do it. You know, this is their bread and butter. But yeah, for me and my my knowledge, we're just struggling our way through it. So if you're having a bad day and you want cheering up, yeah, this is what I've been up to today. So yeah, we've got our timbers up, they're all level, been using my square. I'm just putting the screws in now, so there's 3 in each, 2 in the sides, 1 underneath or on top. And yeah, we're going to put that to the test, because next we're going to stage off this and a ladder going up to there. Heights isn't my thing, but yeah, that's where we're at. So we've had a little hole here for as long as you can remember. It was just feeding the water pipe coming out, or the hose, but now we've got one out on the outside. So yeah, what you're looking at is the start of a bee's nest. Just had 2 or 3 come back, wondering where it's been blocked up. So yeah, there's another one there, 3, 4. So that was a good spot, so we just blocked that up. Right, so just got back from the gym, and I thought I'd have a little bit of a quick chat. I know I like to go on, but when I'm stressed out and I'm talking to you through the day, bear in mind it's a working day, I just didn't want the channel to come across as negative in any way whatsoever, because I genuinely are really happy doing this thing. I've dreamed about it for years, watching Homes Under the Hammer, having friends, family, that type of thing, being in property and looking up and thinking that is what I want when I want to grow up, or when I get older. You'll never grow up. So yeah, I just wanted to keep it on a lighter note, because you can quite quickly, when you're working and you're tired and you're putting 100% in, you can quite quickly see the bad side of the channel, and you can see me being a little bit negative. So just to lighten things up, I'm super happy, super proud, and smashing it as always. So yeah, I'm really excited. So many big things coming in the future. This is just the beginning. First big project / development, and yeah, final thoughts. We're just getting started. Alright, so it's early Friday morning and getting things done. Dave's on with the rendering at the front, and I'm mucking in here and there. Might even get me my painting gear out later on. So yeah, we're upstairs in the number 2 house, and I had a little bit of an ultimatum. So we had the plasterers in, and they've done a good job, can't fault the work. 2 good lads, had a good crack with them, but I was a little bit concerned of how long it was taking, and ultimately it going over budget. So I've had to make like a difficult decision and said, you know what's involved, can you give us a price? And the way things were progressing, 4 days for what I'll show you, I don't think was viable. The way we was going, we were on track for doing, you know, it would be about 7 grand all in if it was on a day rate, continuing at the progress that we're going at for the internal of number 1 and 2. So it's quite intricate. I understand that they can't price it because it's not straightforward flat walls. You can't just do a metre squared, work out how long it'll take, and then go from there. But yeah, I just can't warrant 3 weeks of plastering for what is 2 really, really small houses and like a small outbuilding. So yeah, we've had to let them go. Hard decisions, But you just got to be honest and say, you know, this is what we're working to. I ain't got pots and pots of cash to be shelling out. If it would be a different scenario, if I was having everyone doing the work, you know, I wouldn't be here myself so often. Dave made a suggestion before. He said, you know, with the downstairs window seat that we made, we were looking at, you know, having that rendered and making it as a seat. But ultimately, if I have to skim it all and then redo it all again, it's just another headache. So because ultimately we might get plasterers coming in from previous projects that we've worked on, I don't want to have to call them back again. So when it comes to this window seat, we're not far off a metre squared here, but yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to block it up, have the window. It is a nice frameless window, but ultimately it's not an amazing view. And to be honest, we'll do a proper job and we'll get that blocked up later on today. So I'm going to show you what Dave's doing at the front and the progress that we're making. So currently up on the scaffolding, and it's been a while. Got a bit of paint. Going to do like a primer undercoat. All this is going white, and then individually these two will be like two separate colours. Thinking maybe like sandstone for these bits and the outside of boundaries, you know, the borders, and then, you know, it's a bit neutral. And then for these inner ones, probably maybe like a blue or like a lime green or something like pastel colours, I'm thinking. But yeah, we're trying to beat the rain. It's going to rain at it's going to rain at 3 o'clock, so we have to be done for 2, because this paint is okay 1 hour before it rains. So we've got our rendering finished up top. I'll be up there next week finishing off the painting of this gable end. Right, okie dokie, so we've got that bit sorted out there. Yeah, just makes for a proper job. So we've got a metre squared, it's all bricked up. Down here we've got business as usual. Not much has changed, but up here, I'm quite impressed. I really do like the purlins. So good bit of elbow grease this week, sorted all them out. Rocky's been here with us this week, he's been happy. Been playing with the dog next door. And at the front, good. So Dave's done a good job putting in the extra lintel here, so it's all patched in and it matches the other side. So yeah, we're thinking colour wise doing all this as an undercoat, so we're white masonry paint using like a Santex, and we just about beat the rain because it's actually coming in now, but thinking about going for sandstone for the outer purlins of the feature, and then we're going to go for like pastel colours. So I'm thinking of maybe like a sage green, and then like a bit of a pastel blue. I think they'll be good colours. I think they'll be quite nice. There's not many other houses around here which have got any colour. Probably makes life easier, you don't have to actually paint it. So yeah, had the electricians in today. They've been sorting out the wiring, so that's coming over. And yeah. So what is now the final end of the week? As you can tell, I'm back home. Oh, shower. The drive home was fine, but travelling into Wales, with it being like bank holiday, there was a few broken down cars. The traffic was backed up. The worst I've ever seen. It was like 10 miles. So yeah, and I had a few final thoughts, and I thought this week's been a good week in terms of just the general vibe down there, and it's the people. Now at the beginning it felt like I had a bullseye on my back, and it felt like I was very unwelcome. And since being in Anglesey, people getting to know us, knowing what we're about, just really friendly and quite the opposite of what I thought. So on the back of the last video of don't buy a property in Anglesey, no, I would highly recommend it. It's such a nice, beautiful place to live. The people are just very welcoming. You know, my neighbours especially, the ones closest to me on the street, really nice. The ones in the builders merchants, the tradesmen that we've had working for us, and even those on the back lane to the rear of the property. You know, I've had some good, just friendly, nice conversations. You know, wave to the farmer as he goes past in his tractor, and yeah, just good vibes all around. So I'm really happy about it, and I just think it's just a great place to be and work. So very privileged. So yeah, that's one very busy week, stressful week, mixed emotions, and going to enjoy the bank holiday. So long weekend off, which I'm quite happy about. And yeah, so as always, please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Any comments you do want to leave, I'm definitely open, transparent. If you've got anything you want to say, good, bad, the ugly, just comment, let me know, because like you said, I'm learning with you on this journey, so it's good to have you there, and I really appreciate all the support that everyone's been giving. So all the best, have a fantastic weekend, and that's me.